Okay. Live like a shark. I think we're on Facebook Live. Shark Stewards. Hi, everyone. My name is David McGuire. I'm the director and founder of the nonprofit Shark Stewards. We fight for sharks. And here I am at home in San Francisco, sheltering in place, snorkeling in place, taking care of my health and your health and the ocean health by saving sharks. This is the second of a series called Live Like a Shark. We say live like a shark because sharks swim alone. They keep their social distance most times. They're strong, they're healthy, so live like a shark. If we all lived like a shark, we might not be in this crisis that we're having. Also, if we didn't consume wildlife, we would not be in this crisis that we are experiencing with the coronavirus. So maybe we shouldn't be eating exotic wildlife like pangolins or like sun bears or like shark fin soup. So shark fin is one of our major campaigns. Saving sharks for ocean health is our mission. Our true mission is to restore the health of the ocean. I'm going to take this off now. If those of you are just tuning in, you probably like that better. I'm David McGuire. I'm the director and founder of Shark Stewards. We're a nonprofit project of the Earth Island Institute based in Berkeley, California. Founded by David Brower, a true Earth hero who ended up becoming a champion of the whole planet, including the other 71%. So we're celebrating Earth Day tomorrow, and we celebrate Earth Day, Ocean Day every day. 71% of our planet is water, and we're going to be doing a virtual bio blitz. And actually, you can go out if you want to download iNaturalist and record data for the San Francisco Biodiversity Project. We'll be out there making observations with iNaturalist. You can download the app, and that's on our website at sharkstewards.org or on your Facebook page. If you're watching here on Shark Stewards, it's one of our events. We also have a drive today to raise some money to support our online education series, which this webinar is part of. We are recording these. If you missed part one of what is a shark, it's a shark biology lesson, and we're going to resume that today. But we have a matching grant from one of our board members. Thanks. If you look at the donate link on Facebook, I just made a post, or if you go to our website at sharkstewards.org, there's a donation link, and these are tax deductible. We are a 5-star charity, platinum ranked with Earth Island Institute, our mothership. So our mission, Shark Stewards' mission, is to restore ocean health by saving sharks from overfishing and the shark fin trade, and protecting critical marine habitat. So we'll talk a little bit later about what we do and how we do it and how you can help us do it. So right now you're helping us with our webinar and hopefully sharing. Follow us on Instagram as well. Tell your friends. These will be up on YouTube. We have a Shark Stewards YouTube channel. I'm also a documentary filmmaker, and we'll try to show a couple films during these webinars, particularly films that are relevant to the work that we do on sharks, but also adventure, other issues around oceans and ocean health. So I'm going to resume with the actual slide show, part 2 of what is a shark. You can reach me at info@sharkstewards.org if you want to learn more or if you want to volunteer. So we're going to do the next slide. Let's see if this works. Voila! What is a shark? This was part 1 of our series. We went through the historical connotations and connections of sharks. We went pretty deep in history, actually, down to the Mayan. And the etymology, what is in a name? And what is a shark? What are our perceptions of sharks? So I go into a little bit about the root of what the word shark is, and also some of the other words we have for sharks, which aren't always so nice. So I really talk about what a shark is, which is a chondrichthyan or cartilaginous fish, a fish with a backbone made of cartilage. They are a vertebrate and a chordate like us, but we have a backbone out of calcium. We'll talk about ancient sharks. We did talk about the ancient sharks, sorry. And we go into the phylogeny or the family tree and taxonomy. And I was warned or chastised that I put a little bit too much eggheady science in. And so I'll ease up a little bit on the taxonomy and the Latin. That is in the first lecture. And you can see that on YouTube at our Shark Stewards channel, if you want to get into it a little bit deeper, but also the anatomy and physiology of sharks. And then we kind of talked a little bit just about sharks in general and answered questions through your comments here on Facebook. So if you want to ask a question or make a comment, we'll try to include you. If you want to volunteer, you can go to our website at sharkstewards.org and help out and maybe make these webinars a little bit tighter. So what is a shark? Well, in the background, we often think of what a shark is this fusiform, laminate shark, this beautiful torpedo-shaped, big tooth, fast-swimming, large fin shark, the great white shark. Or, as we say in the science world, white sharks, because as Dr. McCosker, my mentor at the California Academy, says, great is superfluous. We know they're all great. So we call them white sharks. Carcharodon carcharias in Latin. And this is a shark that lives around the world, circumglobal, in temperate and subtropical seas primarily. But they tend to aggregate around margins of continents, including ours off the Northeast Pacific and the west coast of North America, which is an aggregation for white sharks. I feel very fortunate to live here near the Farallon Islands, which is a major feeding area. So we get to see these really beautiful animals. These are the ones that are portrayed so often in films and also Shark Week. But we try to change that perception of sharks as scary, as large man-eaters or women-eaters. They don't discriminate. And they're out to get us. No, sharks are incredibly diverse, and many sharks are gentle. Most of them are furtive. They want nothing to do with us. I don't blame them with 100 million a year getting killed for shark fin soup. But so sharks are extremely diverse. They're not just the great white shark. So about 12 years ago, we got involved with this International Ocean Film Festival in San Francisco. It's All Films Ocean. I encourage you to go to the website and you can see some of these films for free. I want to give a shout out to the ED, my friend Anna Blanco, who has a fundraiser for the Ocean Film Festival for her birthday. So happy birthday, Anna. Go to their Facebook page, support the film festival, watch some films for free or donate, and you can see the diversity of films that we show. 4 days of ocean films. This is year 17. We have not given up. We're going to show the festival in fall during Sharktober when we celebrate the return of the white sharks to our sanctuary. And I'll talk a little bit about that, and maybe we'll do a webinar just on white sharks because people are fascinated by Carcharodon carcharias. But there are really many other sharks that are amazing that we want to share and celebrate. So we'll start with a trailer with the International Ocean Film Festival for a little teaser for our Sharktober screening for 4 days of celebration of all things ocean, from surfing to sharks to whales to plastic pollution to ocean solutions, including 2 days of youth films and a youth film contest. So please support the festival. Come join us in September. Enjoy the trailer, and I'll be back with the Live Like a Shark webinar in just a few minutes. Like a Shark. That was the trailer to the International Ocean Film Festival. And while I put myself back on here, there I am. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like me sheltering in place, being safe, following the advice of our mayor, London Breed, and our governor, Gavin Newsom. Thanks to both of those leaders, we are far ahead of flattening the curve, if you will, for this COVID virus. We sheltered in place. We've been doing this for almost a month in San Francisco, and thankfully we have very few cases. So even I've started wearing a mask. If you follow Instagram, you'll see I did a post the other day. I went to Trader Joe's, and I felt like the pariah because I was the only one that didn't have a mask, and everybody's looking at me and like, hey, dude, I'm healthy. I just went for a run. But the thing is, we're not just protecting ourselves, we're protecting others. If you want to get one of these masks, custom painted, you can donate. If you donate $20, we'll send you one of these through the mail. So email us at info@sharkstewards.org. Donate online. We have a fundraising drive right now. We have a matching grant thanks to one of our board members for $1,000, right, Bill? No, not really. But we do have a $1,000 goal, and we're trying to fund an education series for the schools that we generally participate with during this time, and we can't reach the kids. We had 6 school events. We had the Ocean Film Festival, we had Earth Day events all weekend with the WCN, any number of events that have been canceled as the schools have. So we're trying to reach out to youth, help our friends, kids, while they're sheltered in place, and trying to educate and fulfill our mission as well to protect the ocean and ocean health. So join us. And if you can't donate, you can volunteer. I want to give a shout out to Gabe at the Spicy Shark, who launched a line of Spicy Shark hot sauces. They're gourmet sauces that also give back to sharks and shark stewards. So thanks, Gabe. I'm wearing the hat for you. Appreciate the support, as we do for our other sponsors and donors like Patagonia and Lush. So we're in part 2 of our webinar, which is the Live Like a Shark. We talk about biology. We're going to talk about kind of all ocean issues here. In this lecture, we're not only going to talk about shark taxonomy, but how sharks relate, but really about how cool sharks are. So how diverse they are, how specialized they are. And what I need is a tech shark, because this new presentation mode is really cool, but it doesn't always work. So we're going to try to launch back into our talk. We just saw the trailer, the International Ocean Film Festival, coming up this September. Watch for them online, support them, because having the festival down hurt not only the nonprofits like Shark Stewards, but also the festival itself, which is a nonprofit supporting independent ocean film and ocean action. So let's continue on. The hotkeys are hot, yeah. So we talked about our perceptions of sharks in part 1, and that is on YouTube if you want to see it. But I think a lot of our perceptions come from the media, obviously not firsthand, unless you're me or some of my friends who are lucky enough to get into the ocean and go diving and go surfing and get into the wild and actually see sharks. But you can see sharks with us, or you can go onto YouTube, as many of we are doing during this COVID crisis, sheltering in place, wearing out Netflix, and watching some of these shark films. This fall during Sharktober, we're also going to have another film screening with the Sports Basement. We had one right before the crisis, and we had a great team event and watched Sharknado. And we had a contest, and people donate or nominate their favorite bad shark film, and we watched them together. So maybe we can do that together virtually. So if you want to nominate your favorite bad shark film, you can go to our website, sharkstewards.org. There's actually a what is it? There's a form that also you can take a poll that will help us with our shark book. We're actually writing a Shark Kids science book with Callisto Press that will be out this Sharktober, this fall. And if you want to learn about a specific shark, or if you have a kid who has a favorite shark, you can actually put that in that poll. And that's on our website. And we'll put that back up on Facebook as well. And you can let us know how you can help. And also you can let us know what sharks you're interested in learning about, as you can in the comments box here on Facebook in this live webinar. Wow, okay, so Jaws had a big impact on me. It had a big impact on the public psyche of sharks. It was a good book by Peter Benchley. It was a really good film, very powerful. It had kind of a negative connotation, unfortunately. Oh no. Okay, that scary soundtrack. Cut. Okay, wait, how do I turn it off? Okay, so the Jaws theme was really powerful. I mean, that film actually terrified so many people. And it actually gave a very bad view of sharks. People became terrified. People maligned sharks. Sharks became these incredible targets. They became entered into these contests. There were white shark tournaments here off San Francisco. It became a commercial fishery off California, and we almost fished out sharks, not just because of Jaws, but generally because of our disregard. But we fished this population down almost to local extirpation. Fortunately, white sharks have been protected since 1994 in the West Coast and now the United States. You cannot kill a white shark, and they are on the rebound, but that population is very small, and largely due to this negative connotation generated by a film like Jaws and playing on our fears. Peter Benchley lamented what that book had done, and he wrote several books to counter it, and he did several films. I had the good fortune to meet Peter, and his wife, Wendy Benchley, still survives and thrives and helps support ocean conservation. Peter, unfortunately, passed away, but he worked very hard. He loved the ocean. He loved sharks, and he was mortified at what this really good book did towards this really wonderful animal. So what is a shark really? I mean, Jaws is Carcharodon carcharias, and that comes from the Greek for sharp and biting and cutting. So this film has not only generated these images and these fears, but there's been this whole lexicon. My transition's not working here. Just bear with me 1 second. There it is. Loan sharks, pool sharks, lawyers, all of these kind of negative connotations that are associated with sharks, when really most sharks don't look like white sharks. Sharks are extraordinarily diverse. They have many different functions, many different roles. This amazing evolutionary history. They've been around for 420 million years through the fossil record, and through the Devonian, the Permian. They were highly diverse during the Carboniferous period 200 million years ago. So many species, and they've survived the 5 great extinction events until now, the 6th. So we talked about shark anatomy in the last talk. That is on YouTube if you want to tune into our Shark Stewards web or YouTube channel. There are a lot of videos that I've produced, but also we're going to start putting these lectures up on there. So we talked about physiology and anatomy and how incredibly specialized sharks are, as shown in this diagram, and diverse also with the groups, the skates and the rays and the chimera. I want to give a shout out to my friend James Mosquito, and happy birthday, James. Amazing photographer, really great guy, leads these tours, Ocean Safari, He's been leading trips in Mexico out here at the Farallones, and now he's been specializing down in Monterey with some really great trips looking at whales, finding sharks if he can. There's a really cool video that he produced that actually supports Shark Stewards. Thanks a lot, James. And he sent this picture, or he posted this picture up on his Facebook page. And I thought this was so amazing because if you look in close, you see those little black pits on the underside of this shark's head, which looks like to me like a tiger shark. And you see the nares, or the nose, the nostrils. Sharks actually have 4 nares, or nostrils, and they can suck air in through one, and it goes past their sensory perceptors, their sense of smell, and exhaust down below, where it has these nasal flaps. But what's really cool about this shark is these ampullae of Lorenzini, those little pits, which are electromagnetic receptors that can detect a nanovolt, which is a billionth of a volt. So we're like batteries. We're sending out heartbeats into the universe. And if you're a fish, or if you're a flounder living in the sand and a hammerhead comes along, these sharks can detect that heartbeat. So what I thought was so amazing is that it's not exactly symmetrical. Even though it's symmetrical, it is on both sides, you see these clusters, it's not perfectly symmetrical. And it led me to ask a question. Do these sharks actually have like a fingerprint? Are there ampullae of Lorenzini, this network of electromagnetic receptors? Are they individual, like the fins of a white shark or the spots of a 7-gill shark, where we were able to detect individuals through pattern recognition? I think that would be a really cool study, and maybe somebody's done it. Hi, I'm back, the talking head behind the scenes. Once we figure out this technology, maybe I'll be like Zoom and can put it down at the corner of the screen, but for now we have to kind of transition back and forth. So if you're just tuning in, this is the Live Like a Shark. Live like a shark, live strong, live fast, have social distance, but take care of each other. So this is a second of a series. Hopefully it won't be as technical as the last one. And we're going to talk about a number of different subjects. And the reason we did this is because I love you, I love the ocean, I love saving sharks, and I've been kind of lonely. We do a lot of events at Shark Stewards. We reach about 10,000 people directly, like people next to each other, talking face to face within 6 feet sometimes. The Ocean Film Festival is one of our events. Earth Day is another one. Tomorrow we have a virtual Earth Day that you can participate on. Look at our events on Facebook. Happy 50th anniversary Earth Day. The other 71% is our ocean. So we're going to celebrate the Earth doing a bio blitz, and you can join in virtually online on Facebook, or using iNaturalist out walking around and recording birds and insects and fish, maybe. I'll be looking for fish. So if you follow on Instagram tomorrow, you'll be able to get some live updates or Shark Stewards. We do other events like in-school events and education events. I'm a lecturer. I'm an adjunct professor at University of San Francisco. We can't have classes, obviously, so we decided to do this webinar series, so we could celebrate sharks together and educate and fulfill part of Shark Stewards' mission, which is not only conservation, it's education. So there's that cool shark with his ampullae of Lorenzini. So we talked about the family tree of sharks. And I just want to go over just the diversity. The take home here is that sharks aren't just like Jaws. Sharks are cool, diverse. They live in every ecological niche in the ocean, from the deep blue sea down to the mid-Atlantic vents, to the shallow coral reefs, to the mudsuckers in the San Francisco Bay. So sharks are cartilaginous fish. They're in the Chondrichthyes, the class Chondrichthyes. We are the class Mammalia. And they go into these 2 superorders, the Galea, the Squalea, and now recently separated, the Batoids. So those are the bats down at the bottom. which include the torpedo rays and the skates and the manta rays or the mobula rays and the guitarfish, but also the giant guitarfish, which actually aren't in here. They've been separated out into a new family. And then the Galea, which we would consider the more modern sharks that are a little bit more evolved, more specialized, like the white sharks, like the hammerhead sharks, but also the heterodontiforms. And we'll look at these different sharks, like the bullhead sharks. This outgroup at the top is called the holocephali, which are the chimera or the ghost fish, which live in the deep sea. And they don't look at a shark like a shark at all, but they are one of the most basal or conserved species that go way back into the Devonian. They are the ancestors, maybe the first cousins that came from these scaled sharks, or the Acanthodians. And then down at the bottom, the Squalea are these other orders of sharks. So sharks are divided into these groups, and this is sort of the family tree. So today we'll talk a little bit about ocean adventure, and we'll talk about those sharks and shark diversity, and then threats and what we do in this webinar. I'm an ocean explorer, I'm an ocean adventurer, I'm a sailor, and I sailed across the Pacific a couple times, and once on an expedition with my friends with Trillium Films, and we made a film called Shark Stewards of the Reef that opened up my eyes, and you can still get that film online. And it's about shark finning, and it's about creating the first marine national monument, the Papahanaumokuakea in the Northwest Hawaiian Islands. So we made this film. I quit my job. I started making other films, started writing for National Geographic, working with the California Academy of Sciences on shark studies, but also on education. And now I'm an ocean swimmer. I don't have time to surf and dive all the time, but I do have time to go jump into the bay and swim around Alcatraz, the shark-inhabited, not infested waters of the San Francisco Bay. So there's that family tree. So let's just kind of get into it. So what is a shark? Well, sharks are highly diverse, both in their feeding roles, their ecological roles, but here their morphology, their shape. So if you look at this thresher shark, they're in the laminate family, in the Lamniformes. They're warm-blooded or endothermic. They are fast-swimming. They have this amazing network of capillaries called the rete mariable, which is a capillary network that captures the warm blood and sends it back to their sensory network, mostly their brain and their sense of smell and their electromagnetic receptors, so they can actually be more efficient predators. So these are really some of the most evolved sharks that are living today, including our friend Carcharodon carcharodon, the great white shark. But also there are many different laminate sharks that look more like what we consider the shark, that sort of torpedo shape, those large maneuverable fins, those with dense cartilage that allow them to have the rigidity and the wing-like shape so that they can swim fast and maneuver quickly. These sharks are called the mackerel sharks because they're more fish-like. But a lot of these sharks also don't look like the laminate sharks that we think of as sharky sharks, like this beautiful silky shark. The goblin shark, which is a really weird shark that lives in the deep sea and looks like a goblin. Megamouth, this large, flaccid, filter-feeding shark that lives in the depths of the ocean. So these laminate are actually very diverse in their shape as well. Sorry, but now we're talking about the Carcharodoniforms, which are also called the ground shark. So I just got confused because the ground sharks are what we call the confusing Carcharodoniforms, because they're not ground sharks at all. The silky sharks actually belong to the Carcharodoniforms, the blue sharks, the cat sharks, the swell sharks, the sandbar sharks. This family has over 270 species in 8 families. Incredibly diverse. Really beautiful. I love blue sharks. Blue sharks are the sharks that I grew up with. These sharks live pan-globally in temperate seas around the world. They're a fast-swimming shark. They're one of the most abundant pelagic or open ocean sharks on the planet. These are also the most abundant in the shark fin trade. 20 million of the blue shark fins are entering the shark fin trade. These sharks have disappeared off of my home waters because of shark finning and as bycatch on longlines. This is tragic to me. So one of the goals that we had last year was to list these sharks under CITES, the Convention of International Trade of Endangered Species. Unfortunately, that did not happen. They did not get listed because of fishing interests. Mako sharks happily did, as did the giant guitar fish. But the blue sharks are still suffering from this shark fin trade to make the luxury shark fin soup. So our mission is to save sharks from the soup by passing laws like the California shark fin ban, like New Jersey that just passed, like the federal bill that's now in the U.S. Congress. So if you want to help and take action, you can go to our website, sharkstewards.org, and sign a petition, or call your senator because it's in the senator and say, hey, you know what, even during this COVID crisis, you can do something good because we also have an ocean health crisis. We need to protect sharks from the shark fin trade. So we've got these ground sharks in the Carcharina forms also, not just those beautiful swimming sharks. So this is a very diverse family of sharks. These sharks are really amazing in many respects. They have something that's called a nictitating membrane. So if they're going to bite their prey, they actually not roll their eyes, they actually have this membrane like a dog has that rolls up over the eye to protect it. So they have these adaptations that protect them as predators. They've been around since the Jurassic, so a long time, 170 million years or so ago, these sharks started to split out. The heterodontiforms are the bull sharks, and the local example that we have are of the spur shark is the hound shark. This shark, sorry, I'm blanking on the name of the spur shark, the other common name in the heterodontiforms, which means different teeth. The bull sharks, somebody write down in what we call them, because we see these sharks. We have a California species of this bull shark. They're bottom dwelling. They live in tropical and subtropical waters. And there's only 9 species in a single genus. So they're a very, very small group. And they live on the bottom. They have this highly sensitive sense of smell. You can see that convoluted nares or nasal network on the ventral side of the shark. They have these specialized teeth that they use for crushing crustaceans and clams, and they actually lay eggs. They're egg-laying sharks, which is more unusual in the shark world. Many sharks reproduce by actually giving live birth, but most lay eggs actually have eggs internally. It's called oviviparity, and these sharks are viviparous. So you can see that little egg case, and sometimes we see these washing ashore, and they're called mermaid's purses, usually the rays. So it has that little embryo in that hard chitinous egg casing down there at the bottom left, and it has these little tendrils that kind of snare up in the kelp until the embryo hatches. So that's the heterodontiforms. The erectolobiforms are, and also an ancient group of sharks. These sharks are really different. Sometimes they're called carpet sharks. In the case of the zebra shark, or sometimes the misnamed leopard sharks, these live in tropical seas and mostly Southeast Asia and the Indian Ocean. They're a ground-living shark, so there is a myth out there that sharks have to swim continually to breathe. That is true of the Carcharina, most of the Carcharina, but definitely the laminate sharks. They must keep swimming, or ram ventilation. But the case of the ground sharks, they can actually happily pump water using muscles in their gills, sucking in water through the spiracle, which is a hole right behind the eye. You can see it there behind the eye of the zebra shark, and ventilate their gills and extract oxygen. So these sharks are hugely diverse. They're erectolobiforms, also the whale shark. So in our poll, if you want to take it, one of the questions is, do sharks have lips? I'll answer that one later. But in the case of the whale shark, are whale sharks really a whale? No, they're whale sized, up to 45, even 60 feet, but they are actually a cartilaginous fish in this group, Erectolobiforms, and they are a filter feeding shark. So we talked about a little bit the megamouth, which is a deep sea shark. It's also a filter feeding shark in a different order. And then there's the basking shark. That's also a filter feeding shark, not in this group. So the whale shark is related to the zebra shark. It's related to some of the carpet sharks. The wobbegong shark, which is this crazy frilly shark that lives primarily in the Indian Ocean in its own genus. So there are 43 species and 7 families in this order. So it's a huge order. It's highly diverse in morphology, shape that is, and other aspects like their ecological niche. And the hexanchiforms, I love this shark because this is a local shark. I took this picture. This is a 7-gill shark. Most sharks have 5 gills. Some have 6 in the hexanchiforms. Some have 7. So we made a film called City of the Shark. Maybe we'll show that, but it's on our YouTube channel for the Aquarium of the Bay in San Francisco. And these are primarily a bottom-living shark living in deep waters, but they come into the San Francisco Bay and give birth. So we're in this special place that has many species of sharks. Truly is the city of the shark. So one of our programs is to protect, to study, and to save sharks that are actually nurturing and giving birth and exiting the bay, the San Francisco Bay, out into the California coastal waters and beyond. So the 6-gill shark is a deeper water shark. It's a much larger shark, and it lives in the deep sea, and it too comes under the Golden Gate. And we don't know if they give birth here in the bay, but we know they come in because they've been caught. And if you catch a 7 or 6-gill shark, you know it because they're really powerful. And when we're out tagging 7 gills, we catch a shark that spools the reel. We're bummed out because that means we have to catch it to let it go, and it takes a long time because they are such a powerful shark. Then there's the squantiniforms, the angel sharks. And they are called angel sharks because they have this morphology that is more wing-shaped. They look sort of like a ray, but they're not. Their pectoral fins or their side fins are detached, but they kind of have this flattened shape, so they're dorso-ventrally flattened. They are ambush predators. They'll lay in the ground. They're highly camouflaged or lay in the sediments. And they'll wait for their prey to come by, and then they'll lunge lightning fast off their tail and suck in the poor fish that swims by or crab past that big mouth. They're also nocturnal, and they'll swim at night and actually actively forage. They can be fairly large. I grew up with these sharks off of Santa Barbara, and they are almost completely fished out. There was a commercial fishery for not only these sharks, but also for mako sharks, for thresher sharks. That fishery got closed. It's still closed. And worldwide, these sharks are suffering from overfishing because of their biology. Sharks are highly sensitive to overfishing. So I'm going to tune back in here. Hi, I'm David McGuire, Director of Shark Stewards. If you're just tuning in, thanks for watching our second Live Like a Shark webinar. Live like a shark. Be strong, be healthy, keep your social distance, but swim together. So we were just talking about angel sharks and shark fishing. Shark Stewards' mission is to restore and protect the ocean's health by saving sharks from overfishing and the shark fin trade. So I grew up as a marine biology student, later as a young man, helping work with sharks, scuba diving, and I knew nothing really about the impacts of sharks and shark fishing, but this fishery was shut down, and it is in many places around the world. This species is suffering. So these sharks they're not killed for their fins as much as they are for their meat, but also killed sometimes by trawlers like the rays are. So we're going to continue on with the squaliforms, the dogfish, which are super diverse. They're an amazing group of sharks that have many species. They live in packs. If you're a dogfish, that is, that's why they call them dogfish. They have spines in front of their dorsal fins. There are about 125 or 126 species, and they're a really weird, really diverse group. The lantern sharks, the pygmy sharks that live in the deep ocean, just a very diverse group of fish that we rarely see unless we catch them. And the Greenland shark, the longest lived vertebrate on the planet. These are also in the squaliforms. They live between 300 and 500 years. We used to think the bowhead whale was the longest lived shark at 200 years. These sharks have a compound that is like antifreeze in their blood that keeps them from freezing because they live in subarctic waters as well. And the Pristiophoriforms, the saw sharks, which are bottom dwellers. Many live in the deep sea. They're really weird. They're all threatened because they're killed as bycatch, but also for this rostrum, which is actually a saw shape for curios. And they had these little barbels, you can see like whiskers that help them detect prey. And then there's the Batoidea, the rays and skates, which are highly diverse as well. So that's kind of the second part of this lecture, which is going to be on next week because we're running out of time. I'm hoping to share a film, or at least a segment of a film, and we'll try that right now. So if you've just tuned in, thanks for watching. This will be on YouTube on our Shark Stewards page, and we can also link it here on Facebook. So this is our second Live Like a Shark webinar. We do have a donation drive going right now. While I'm talking, I'll look at you. Hi, I'm David. So I've been talking nonstop for about 45 minutes. We just kind of went through the amazing diversity of sharks, how incredible sharks are. They're diverse ecologically, they're diverse taxonomically, they're functional, but also they're highly specialized to the environment they live in. Particularly this guy behind me, the symbol of our organization, the white shark, Carcharodon carcharias, which we know has a negative connotation in many cases because of the film Jaws.
He wouldn't go away. Sometimes that shark, he looks right into your eyes.
Yeah, he looks right into your eye. And guess what? They're not black. They're actually kind of blue. So we took this shark, we tried to take white sharks back from that negative connotation to sharks are cool, sharks are important, sharks are threatened because we're killing 100 million a year for their fins, primarily to serve this luxury shark fin soup trade, but also because of overfishing, because of habitat loss, but in general because of our disregard. So we wanted to take the white shark back. I love a shark because sharks are cool, they're important. They're, as apex predators, we need them for the health of our oceans. And we're seeing now more than ever in this COVID crisis that the humans rely on a healthy environment. They rely on a healthy ocean. And we need to have sharks for ocean health. Like Sylvia Earle says, if you go in the ocean and you don't see a shark, then you should be scared. So I'm going to try to tune into a short film. We're working on this new platform. It's really cool, but it's a little glitchy. So I'd like to show a film that we produced with Scuba Zoo in Southeast Asia where we work. It's called the Samporna Shark Sanctuary, which basically talks about our mission, saving sharks from the shark fin trade, but also creating marine protected areas for sharks that are largely diver supported. And I'm not sure if we're hearing audio. Let me check.
Sharks. These majestic and graceful creatures have roamed the oceans for more than 400 million years. The 83 islands and reefs making up the Samporna region are located on the east coast of Malaysian Borneo. As part of the Coral Triangle, this region is a global hotspot for marine biodiversity. This environment supports a delicately balanced ecosystem, of which sharks are an absolutely vital part. This region boasts 68 species of ray and 63 species of shark, including the gigantic whale shark and thresher shark. However, this marine ecosystem is under attack. Sharks are being caught and finned in large numbers. This relentless and wasteful fishing is unsustainable. It is estimated that worldwide up to 73 million sharks are finned every year. This is to supply the demand for the Chinese delicacy of shark fin soup. The irony is, the fin has zero nutritional value to consumers. In fact, consuming fins has been directly linked with mercury poisoning and Alzheimer's disease. Shark populations are crashing globally, and in Semporna, the whole area is now under threat. Many shark populations have declined by up to 90%, including the magnificent scalloped hammerhead shark. Shark populations simply cannot survive this decimation. In Semporna, however, there is an alternative, the Semporna Shark Sanctuary. Sharks are becoming more and more popular, not for their fins, but ecotourism.
I basically came all the way over to Sip Dam, and then when you came back up I was like, oh my god, I've actually been diving with sharks. It was pretty fantastic.
The reefs in Sipperdown are very, very healthy, very beautiful, full of life.
Essentially it's a world-class diving area. And it was absolutely awesome to see that sharks. There's so many sharks around.
Words really can't describe just how incredible they are.
I'm really looking forward to do it again.
It is estimated the economic value to tourism of one shark throughout its lifespan in the Semporna region is $815,000 US. In stark contrast, the value of a dead shark to a fisherman in Semporna is just $100 US. This economic comparison powerfully illustrates the need to protect these sharks. The Semporna Shark Sanctuary can do this. Sharks, through ecotourism in the Semporna region, are contributing to a sustainable income for local communities, which in turn helps alleviate poverty in the area. The many dive operations on Mabol Island provide alternative livelihoods through employment for many people who might otherwise be fishing or shark finning. The Shark Sanctuary in Semporna will be the first in Southeast Asia. It will provide a region where sharks are protected and fishing and finning is banned, whilst increasing sustainable incomes for the local community.
Sharks are very important for any marine ecosystem around the world. They're the top predator, which means they basically govern everything below them in the marine ecosystems. Shark tourism around the world is bringing in millions of dollars, and certainly into Sabah in the Semporna region is one of the major reasons that people come here.
The Semporna Shark Sanctuary is the solution to protecting this region. The sanctuary will be a positive outcome for many endangered sharks and also for the local communities living within its boundaries. The proposed Semporna Shark Sanctuary already has backing from many local and international NGOs and dive operations, as well as an ever-expanding petition of people backing the introduction of this new protected area. If we let the fishing and finning of sharks continue, we will destroy not only a vital element of the marine ecosystem, but we will also destroy local sustainable livelihoods and a long-term viable economic resource. We cannot let this happen. Support the Semporna Shark Sanctuary.
Okay. Live like a shark. Well, I'm sorry, that was the Semporna Shark Sanctuary, and somebody just told me that it didn't fit the screen right. It worked great on my screen here, but I'm still figuring it out. I've got my shelter-in-place mask protecting not only me, but you. If you want one of these, donate $20 today, and I will send you one, custom-painted, Live Like a Shark mask. Okay, I'm David McGuire. Thanks for tuning in to our Live Like a Shark webinar. I want to give a shout out actually to my students I advise at UC Berkeley. Kelly Morgan is watching, I think, and Sally, hopefully. Natalie, hey you guys. I hope that you're doing well in your shelter in place and taking your classes. I really feel sorry for the seniors who've worked so hard to go through these programs, and in their senior quarter or semester at Berkeley, you can't participate, and even their graduation ceremonies. So I'm with you guys. Thanks for being with us. That was the Semporna Shark Sanctuary that we produced with Scuba Zoo to advocate for permanent protection of these areas in the Semporna region of Borneo, Malaysia. So that is on our YouTube channel. It's called the Semporna Shark Sanctuary. So one of the things that Shark Stewards does is advocates using film and educates, including at the International Ocean Film Festival coming this fall or online. We did show that film at the film festival about 5 years ago. We are working still towards protection, not only in Malaysia, but also now in Indonesia, in a new protected area, and Timor-Leste. So we've been shifting over to the Coral Triangle about 7 years ago. It's the most diverse area of not only sharks, but all marine life. 25% of all species live in the Coral Triangle, the area bounded between Papua New Guinea, Australia to the south, and Indonesia to the east, or the west, that is. So it's an incredibly important place to work. It's hugely diverse. It's a great place to go diving. You can come diving with us. You can even learn how to scuba dive at Source at the lab on Lombok. And you can help do fish surveys and also help us save sharks. So if you want to adopt a shark, go to our website, and that will go to support the efforts this summer trying to get more data. We want to do some shark trapping, camera trapping with BRUVs, which are underwater cameras, to get population ideas, an idea of the population and range of these reef sharks, population size, and more importantly, protection for these sharks. So hopefully when COVID is over, the COVID virus is over, we'll be able to go diving again together. So let's see. Sage had sent a question. I don't know, Sage, if you're still on. Do sharks have feelings? I don't know. They certainly feel. They have a highly evolved sensory network. They have a lateral line that goes down the flank of their body that is an organ that receives pressure waves. They touch with their nose. They touch with their teeth sometimes to investigate. But I'm not sure if they have emotions like we do. If sharks are sad when they're sheltering in place. But good question. That would be maybe a little bit anthropomorphous. So we are taking questions in the last couple minutes here. We've been up for almost an hour. Sorry about the film, Semporna Shark Sanctuary. It's a really powerful film. As you saw, those shark finning sequences, very moving, very disturbing. And I learned about shark finning and saw this in 2003 on an expedition with my friends sailing to eventually New Zealand and back. And we ended up making a film called Shark Stewards of the Reef and had some of that finning sequences, but also hope, celebration, protection, creating the Papahanaumokuakea First Marine National Monument, and also protecting sharks from the shark fin trade here in California, but also Hawaii and 12 other states. So we're asking questions while we're doing this, while we're wrapping it up. I just posted a donate link. We are a nonprofit as part of the Earth Island Institute. 91% of your donations go to work, to effort, to program. If you look at some of the other groups, that might be 50%. We don't have big buildings. We don't have staff. We have interns, volunteers. We have a part-time staff helping with admin. But it's basically me, my friends, and my mom working to save sharks. So if you look at our 1099, we are highly efficient. I want to just share this. Our symbol, this is what we're endeavoring to protect, blue sharks. This is our major mission for the next 5 years, is to try to get these wonderful pelagic sharks protected from the shark fin trade. 20 million a year go into the shark fin trade. It's tragic. So please support us if you can. We have a matching grant from one of our board members. Thanks very much. Go to sharkstewards.org. We also are launching a new website very soon. So follow our website. Where is the donation link? There should be one right in the Facebook page that I just put up, my last post. But also at sharkstewards.org, there's a donate link. So thanks for that. So there was also a question. Do sharks have lips? Well, if they did, would you kiss them? There's a great video on YouTube of this guy, a scuba diver, and he goes to kiss this, I think it's a bamboo shark, a carpet shark, and it bites him. Bad idea. Do sharks have lips? They have lip-like structures, but actually their lips are generally lined with teeth. So when sharks kiss, that's kind of pointy. Sharks have a conveyor belt-like mechanism where their teeth are always growing. So sharks have 3 to 5 different rows of teeth. White sharks have 3 rows, and then they have these reduced teeth that are forming in the back, and they're continually moving forward and falling out as they touch with their teeth. Sometimes they investigate with their mouths and they break a tooth, but they don't have to go to the dentist. Those teeth keep coming. So the next webinar, I'll show you some jaws and tooth-like structures. The white sharks have these serrated margins like a bread knife, and they're really sharp, I can assure you. I've felt one. So we're just about ready to wrap it up. If you want to get your shelter-in-place shark mask, how do I put it on? Here. Please donate. We'll send you one hand-painted. Be safe, be healthy, live like a shark. Donate if you can. Volunteer. We've got some great volunteers. If I had Sage here next to me, the virtual Sage, who's our tech help, I might be able to get through some of these technical difficulties. I'm sorry about the film, but you can watch it on our YouTube channel, and I'll put it on the Shark Stewards page. So that's the Semporna Shark Sanctuary. We're trying to leverage film to educate and advocate for shark and marine protection. So I think this is going to be it for today. I wanted to just send you off with a little last soundbite from our favorite film.
You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eye.
So that was Quint. So let's look at those doll's eyes. Here we go. So there's our white shark, doll's eyes. Live like a shark. Be safe. See you next week at 12 o'clock on Friday for the next installment of our Live Like a Shark series. And that was Quint. That was Quint saying goodbye. Okay, so thanks again. See you next week. See you on the internet. Stay safe.